Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm gonna do the Towers of Doom one, and I saw the draft, or I pulled up the game and I saw what the team comp looked like. So I actually do want to go through the draft on this one because it seems like you guys kind of got out drafted. So at least first glance at the team comp, that's what I would say. So I'm gonna look at the draft and go over my key talking points on what I think. But this guy, I want to get this guy out of here. Nice. Okay. Let's get this draft going. Okay. So Towers of Doom, what I think is really strong is globals. I think Dahaka, Falstad, they're really strong. I'm not a huge fan of ETC Global unless you do them on the offlane, but I think there's better options. I think a lot of teams can abuse globals on this map, and other solos I think is strong is Blaze. I think, I think things that can rotate fast. Genji is good. Things that can poke. Blaze can poke as well from far. What else is there? Not too much that I can think, to be honest, at the moment at least. So let's look at what you guys go for banning. You ban the Asmo, which is pretty standard for you guys. They ban Kel'Thas. You guys ban Diablo. Okay. So I'll just look. I have no idea how this draft goes, so I'm gonna just. Okay, so they first pick the Dahaka, which I think is really strong on this map. So what I would say for you guys, I would pick up a global and I would pick up a tank here. Safe picks, and you can't go wrong. So why I would pick a global is because just to match their global. And what they might do is, what a lot of teams do with this global is they pitch the global in the solo lane, and they rotate mid bot, and then when they try and invade a camp, they just run the solo lane. So if you pick another global that matches that, or you know that that's going to happen, and you rotate down and pick like a solo laner that can clear fast, you can assist that. So basically, two options: you draft a solo, or you draft a global to counter that, or you pick up a solo laner that can clear really, really fast, and then rotate down when you expect them to invade. So what I would do in this situation is I would pick tank and Falstad, in my opinion. Or you can do, like Blaze and a DPS. Blaze and Falstad would probably be a really good pick. And that's what I would think. So let's see what you guys opted for. So this is really good too. I mean, so the tank pick, Anubrek's probably one of the strongest tanks right now in the game. He's right up there with Diablo, Garrosh, Joe. So super strong. Junkrat here. I think it's a comfort pick. I don't know. No, Dookie does play Falstad. I still would have. I think Dookie picking up the Falstad here is good. So I think Falstad just to match their global. That's what I would have done. So then if I'm the other team, what do I pick? I probably just pick my tank here, and then I pick, I can literally do anything. I can pick Junkrat is a lot of AoE damage, so one thing you do is you pick your support kind of tailored to what the enemy has damage. So enemy here is Junkrat, AoE damage. You kind of want support that can handle AoE healing. So I would pick a Malf, Stukov, Lucio, and you can be confident in picking it even after the enemy picks only one damage. So picking up a tank, top tier tanks right now left are, it's only Garrosh. You could pick a Joe. So I would expect Garrosh and healer or damage. Okay, so there is the Hanzo, which is probably one of the better ranged assassins right now. So ban-wise, for you guys, it depends on what you're thinking of going here. For me, like if I'm just drafting completely standard, I would ban out like a good AoE healer. If it's looking like what my comp is poke, I would ban like Lucio, Malf, Stukov, one of those three. Malf or Lucio pairs best with the Garrosh to give him Lucio because it gives him mobility to get to you guys and close the gap. Malf because it can follow up really well with the Garrosh. You banned Toronto, which, yeah, that's all. I wasn't even thinking about her. That's also really good with the Garrosh too, so it's a good pick. She struggles with healing AoE though, so something to think about. And they ban Stukov. So here, for you guys, I would pick up, you know, just your normal healer. I don't know. You can hold the healer even, but I don't like a last pick healer. So since they have Hanzo, it's going to be a lot of like poke, and also pick up your damage. So for me, it's still, I would still pick a Falstad here and a Malf. Okay, so Rexar and Uther. Uther's a huge liability here, especially since it's this early. Because now all they have to do is pick anything that can do. Hanzo already has really good poke. Like he can poke around the team if he goes like Q build, because then it'll go piercing and it's hard on Uther to heal that. And then they can just go like Gul'dan, Lunara, anything that has like a lot of AoE. Maiev can also is banned, so that doesn't work. Any mage, you know, like Uther struggles into Chromie as well because there's just too much poke that you can't heal up. So picking an Uther this early is hard because then they can just go any one of those heroes and then just you can't sustain fights at all. And so now what your draft is needing to be is it needs to be quick fights. You need to get picks and you need to do it fast. So what do they go? Okay, so like I said, Lunara, Lucio. Lucio pairs with the Garrosh to help him close the gap. Lunara really hard counters this Uther. So now what do you guys got to do? What can help you win fights faster? I think the thought process was, you know, now you get a global. You pick a build and match the global. You have D-Shield. Maybe they're a little squishy, but I think Illidan into Lucio is a little rough unless you go hunt the Lucio with Misha follow up on the Lucio until like a noob follow up on the Lucio. Like literally your team has to be all in on this Lucio pick, and if you don't get the Lucio pick, you're just kind of, you lose the fight. So that's how the draft goes. So now that I know that in context. So Towers of Doom is probably one of my favorite maps. A lot of people play it wrong, and a lot of people, they'll commit to all these altars for no reason. The altars mean nothing in this game. Yes, they are the objective, but literally they're the least important things. Like losing, you can literally lose all of these objectives for the first half of the game, and it doesn't even matter. It's like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, but yeah, I don't know. It's like body shots in boxing. You don't really see the impact, but it's all about the long term. Like these altars are all face shots. Boom, boom. Punches to the face that you can see like visible cuts. Yeah, they're good, but the main damage is the body shots, which are getting map control. So once again, we'll look at wave clear and camps. Bot lane is the most important with these camps because then it's just permanent pressure on this bot with potential shots at core. It's 6 shots at core each time. So if you control bot, whoever controls bot basically wins this game. So early split by the Rexar. At least getting ready for the wave clear. Okay, so Jesus should just rotate down. Rexar not missing any wave. Nice. Mid clear's good. And bot just missed 1 wave. Or 1 minion. So overall, not too bad. Honestly, I don't know. I was gonna say I might even consider here putting Illidan in the solo and then Rexar in the 4-man. It just gives your team a little more wave clear. The only thing that you'll be struggling on is Illidan's better on the camp, but is that really that big of a deal? I'm not sure. Okay, so camps, you're looking like you're prioritizing right away. I should do a 1v1 with you, or 1-on-1. Remind me to do that, just so we can do solo lane things I can point out. Because I think you guys can abuse the solo lane, especially what Dahak was doing earlier on. Because you are really forward. All it takes is just 1 rotation and you're done. So we'll do that. Okay, so I believe you missed some bot. And it's just, if you guys have to realize earlier in the game is that your wave clear is going to suck with this team, with this comp. Uther has no wave clear, Anub has no wave clear, Illidan has no wave clear unless you went Immolate, which he didn't. So pretty much your only wave clear is going to be Junkrat. So you're going to have to recognize that that's how your wave clear is going to go. It's mostly going to be just AFK soaking and getting the minions when they crash, and then otherwise just off soaking and splitting up, making sure you don't miss anything. Okay. Yep. Always keep those in bushes. Okay, so now that you cap this objective, what do you do with it? So it should be 1 person pushing mid, everyone else going bot. So in my opinion, it should be, I think it should be Illidan in the mid lane, and then everyone else should be bot. So what's going to happen here, what I'm going to predict what happens here is that you guys stay here soaking forever, and then this team caps theirs, and then they free clear yours, and then they push in with their little camp, and then get shots on your towers. And there's nothing you can do about it because you have you guys up here. Because this next wave is going to crash, and then what I'm expecting is you guys, you gotta stay mid and catch this soak. So Skara should be coming down right here. You can literally leave 1 person on these. You don't need. The only thing the tank needs to do is pitch this bush, and then come down. So he should be up here tanking this, threatening you guys. But okay. So you guys got kind of look out because their tank doesn't do their job. Nice. Okay. So you lose out on one little sapper. So now it should be, yeah, I think it should always be Illidan in this bush. Just because now you guys are doing, it's looking good so far. Like, not optimal, but, oh. What am I doing? Boom. Forgot about that. Now we can see. Okay. Now, it's not optimal, what I was saying, what you guys were doing, but it worked. So, now you just put Jesus mid, you 3 come down. Because it's basically, the whole thing is, Nair is stalling these sappers so they don't come in, Dukey's clearing it, and then Tanner is just protecting Dukey. Because the last thing you want them to do is crash in. So right now you have 3 mid when the most important lane on this map is bot. So little things like this where so far it's the misplay is not really being shown or taken advantage of by their team. So you guys are getting away with it. But you could be getting away with it by doing the right thing. Because worst case scenario, if you have Jesus here in mid and they push in, like, this lane's not important. There's no sappers here that go through here, so this lane is the least important. It's bot that's the most important, followed by top. And one reason why you want to prioritize bot is that if you lose bot, like, you're blocked off from this entire half of the map. Like, where are you gonna, if you're fighting over objective here, the only way out is up this way or all the way around here. But there's no sippy, no fort to fall back on. If you're fighting over this bot objective and you need to back out, well, you can't go this way because there's a fort. So the only way to back out is to go all the way up here. So fighting over a bot objective when you don't have your fort is game over. So now what you should be doing here is Rex are capping this and everyone else kind of going bot. Because what they're going to do is they're just going to send 4 bot, contest this. Once Dahaka gets theirs, then he digs. So what you guys need to do is let Rexar cap left. You guys poke, make sure they don't cap it. Once Dahaka digs, you just be safe, poke, and then wait till Rexar comes down. Okay, so it's about to be capped and you still have everyone mid. Which wave clear is important, but this is not important. Like, pretty much every team, like, it's so scripted at this point where no team is gonna, I've talked with you guys about, I think I was playing with you guys on this game, is never ever go for this objective like at the start of the game, because you can get so much value elsewhere. And the only time you should really ever go for this objective is if you have all the keeps and they're all dead, basically. Kind of. Maybe not if they're all dead, but if you have all the keeps. Like, the map control is way more important than this objective. So if you get a whole bunch of kills and they can poke, if they can't poke, then yeah, sure, go for it, and then go for the map objective. If it takes you less than 10 seconds to go get this objective, then do it. So pretty much what you'll see is good teams won't ever even, like, stall this, because why should they? So this bush isn't really that important to look at, but what is important is the poke. So just gotta be safe. Okay, so here's where things get tricky is, like I said, Dahaka's gonna dig. So if you guys are opting for soak, you need to opt for soak. You can't have one person soaking and then everyone else kind of trying to stall. What you can do is you just have Dookie throw in a Q, 1 or 2 stalls, but then other than that, if you get, since Dahaka dig down, you soak here, you soak here, you soak this wave, and now boom, you're ahead in XP. But now it's going to be disaster strikes because Dookie's out of position, Lucio speeds him in, do the throw. Okay, so what's happening here is that every team is kind of screwing this whole thing up. They just misplayed, but they should win this fight handily. So what I want to see from you guys is, since it smells up top, you just back out. you'll like look for soak, because these objectives don't mean anything. Like this is just a number, honestly. Like it's just a number on the screen. Doesn't really mean much. What is important is the map control and the XP. So if you opt for this, you would have gotten this entire lane of soak, this entire lane of soak. Like look how much time it takes them to get back to these two soaks. And you should have Illidan be here once he's up, so probably at this point the Uther here, and then Dookie bot, because if they 4-push this, which at this point probably they should, then you'll need Dookie to fend them off, because you guys can't do anything against this 4-push. So okay, so you got the soak. And you got this soak. This is good. But you should do that from the start, when the waves are here. Yeah, just hit me up whenever you're free, and then I'll do that with you. So yeah, so it took them forever to even get back to the top lane, so they missed soak. You guys are ahead. That's what you should look to do. So yeah, here too, just, I think just put, if Illidan, so like I said, okay, so Illidan is always on mid soak. You three, Nair, Dookie, and Tanner are on the bot lane. But if Illidan's on the camp, then it should be Dookie and Tanner in the bot lane, and then Nair pitching mid. Because just to emphasize, like, you're putting more people in the mid lane, which is not as important, than the bot lane, which is important. Like, I get you're trying to protect him, but if Dookie just goes bot, Nair can soak this without any issue. Okay, so here we go again. Now you're ahead on this camp. So camps and soaking so far in this game are looking pretty good. You're getting this camp off cooldown. You're getting the soak. You're not really missing much, but let's see how you use these camps, which is looking like the same issue as the first one. Same two people. Not ideal. Their tank not really doing their job. He's anchoring this push to make sure the Hanzo, so no one comes in. So this is what I was saying before, where if teams invade, if someone's invading or they're gonna invade you, all they have to do is just group up here. They dig the Dahaka down. Objective's coming up anyway, so this is a good dig if you guys commit, which you don't, so he's gonna stay. So once again, you get the value out of those sappers. Did you get all three though? So you get the value out of the sappers, but once again, it's kind of sheer luck, I'd say. Okay. So yeah, so once again, you know that the Dahaka's gonna dig. So you gotta be ready for that and just poke. Like, the job is poke. I like that it's Jesus that's capping and not Junkrat, because it should be Jesus capping bot, Junkrat poking mid. This position for Nair is a little dangerous. He does have E, but he's going to take a ton of damage for this poke, rather than you guys all just kind of sitting here and just Junkrat throwing a Q. So yeah, so he takes his half HP just for a poke. So now you got mid. Junkrat should just poke. Just poke. You don't want to fight, you just want to poke. Okay, you got the poke. Now Rexar's in. Now you can fight. So Lunara's down here. So who are you gonna go on? I mean, with your comp, it should really just be you kind of got to go all in. This is the difficulty of this comp. is that Illidan can't really poke these frontliners. So it has to kind of just be, you dive in, Rexar follows with the Misha stuns, and then you go in looking for the backline. Pre-10, this is how these fights will work. But it's just, like, look at Jesus. Gets a Q off. Okay, now he's on the backline. But, like, he can't really do anything to these frontliners. So, like, it's just kind of irrelevant. So now it's just, either you go on the backline, or you poke the front line, but then Jesus is useless in these fights. So, now you're giving, because Lunara damage against Uther hurts. So what you should do here is, I would put one person next to Dookie, like Anubarak, and then everyone else soak, and then let him just poke. Try and get ahead on soak. Nice. But see, if you have the Anub here, it makes so this Lunara can't just do that. Yeah. How do we get out of this? There we go. Okay. So ult-wise for you guys, it should be Cocoon, Tire, Boars, D-Shield, and Hunt. Okay. Once again, too many people mid, not enough people bot. This is okay. Getting these camps off cooldown, it's pretty good. Do you lead him in? Okay. So, ults, Hunt, D-Shield, Wrath, Cocoon, Riptire. I'm of the opinion that, I said this in the last game, Bestial Wrath I don't think does hardly anything. It's just added damage, I think. I mean, yeah, if you're going for an all-in burst on Lucio, maybe this is gonna make it worthwhile. But I feel like a lot of times Misha can just get kited. So like a lot of her value is just she's gonna just stun someone and then just stick on like a slow target that the damage is probably not gonna be relevant for anyway. So she can like stun like this backline, get like maybe one auto, two autos off on these guys, and then she's gonna auto tanks to get the charge back up, and then she's gonna charge. Most of her value is the charge rather than the damage. So I don't know, I think the boars could be better. But maybe since you're all in, maybe this charge is, or this damage is better. No idea. So camp, do the camp, Jesus on the camp. Oh. I like the idea that you're gonna protect him, but you know, Dahaka's here, Lunara's here. It's just the Hanzo that can damage him, and Hanzo can't burst anyone 0 to 100 unless it's like, I don't know, anyone. Maybe the Junkrat he could. But I think if you just heal him, give him throw the W to get armor on, and then once he gets lower, then throw the Q, he's totally fine, because he has some minions to Q2. So, it's a nice thought. Shows him that you care. So Jesus should be doing this camp. Oof. Sure would be nice to get a D-shield. Okay. let's look at everything here. Okay, so Jesus goes in. It's gonna be a 4v5 because they have Dahaka, if you guys commit. So what you need to look for is how these fights all should be working is you should never fight unless the Rex starts coming down. Because you need everyone there because the Dahaka can just dig. Like, he's just sitting here looking like, oh, where should I dig? He's probably going to dig here. And all these fights should be wait till the Lucio gets out of position. You hunt the Lucio, cocoon like the Garrosh or the Dahaka. You dive in on the Lucio, you triple stun him. Uther walks up, stun him a 4th time, and then while that whole engage is happening, Dookie is just sitting safely back. So say like Rexar's here. It should be like Jesus in an offlane soaking. Like soaking here, soaking here. So say he's soaking here. And then boom, you hunt the Lucio. As he's like calling the Lucio hunt, Dookie is like over here, rip-tiring, throwing this rip-tire, while Nanoob is double stunning the Lucio, Uther is stunning the Lucio, and the rip-tire blows him up, and then he just dies. That's how the team fight should work. And Rexar stuns over the top of it. And like, as the whole thing is, you just throw the boars, Misha stun it. You just basically make sure he doesn't get anything off. He's the best target. The only other target is Hanzo or Lunara, but when Lucio can just sound bury it, he's the target. Okay, so you're going in. Dahaka's digging, so Dookie's dead no matter what. So now you're kind of leaving him away. Now it's a 3v3 over here, but it's going to be a 4v3. 5v3. Okay. So now that you see how the team fights should work, it's same story as Volskaya game, is just you gotta know when to fight. And if Rexar is in the solo lane and he's soaking top, you never fight, just poke. But this was just, you were fighting pretty much over nothing. So now you soak. You stay in soak. You're gonna lose this. They're going to get on here, so you guys go wrap around down. Soak. Soak. Defend here. Now what does this team do wrong? They do a colossal everything wrong. Well, maybe not. Okay. So it should be a couple of people, probably like the Lunara and Garrosh. They should be pushing up, making sure. So I'm just imagining if this was you guys now. They should be pushing up, making sure these 3 go in. Once they go in, then they back up, get this, and then they lead this in. This is way more important than the soak. Like, yeah, they're going to miss top, but Dahaka just gets mid and then goes top. This entire bot lane is more important. Like, they could literally just get bot now because we have 1 person mid. 2 people mid. You have Hunt here, so this is the only person that should be staying in mid lane. So they should get this forward, no problem here. They should just step up with minions, poke this out. They have to step up, make sure these minions go through. Like, this Garrosh can step up and just threaten a throw to just force Dookie to back up. Okay, now that they're in, back up. Now Dahaka go back top. Or even Dahaka go bot. Like, at this point in the game right now, yeah, Dahaka go bot, because the objectives are top. I don't think this one's going to be, yeah, it's just 2 top objectives, so you put the global down. So Jesus would be down on this one. And every time there's an objective where it's 2 on top, most teams would just soak and just have 1 person capping. Like, most teams won't ever fight when it's just these 2, because you're not going to get this objective, so why bother? So I think so far in this game, it's been 2 fights where it's 4v5 because of their global advantage. So let's see what happens with the others. So yeah, just sit in the bush. Just make sure no one comes here. They shouldn't. Like, since they have a talent advantage, I guess now they will, but... Okay. Just have one person sit here. So now once, if they're being aggressive, you just leave the soak. Don't soak it. Because they're all up in you guys' face. Okay. See, just look at the value that those boars would get. Slow everyone on their team. But like, the fact that you guys won this fight without Rexar, like... Okay, got that kill. Ooh, this boss. Be careful. Okay. Don't ever hunt Dahaka. I think you still get there just with your Q cooldown. Okay, now what do you guys do? You should honestly... Uther capping this. Someone should be Uther capping Rexar top, and then Illidan going down for this camp, and Noob getting this soak. Ooh, okay, here we go. I'm glad you guys did this, so we're getting it out of the way. Boss is another time where you don't do it unless it's like there's nothing else to do on this map. Boss is like, once again, it does 4 shots on the core. That doesn't mean anything. Like, what does 4 shots mean? Like, it reduces this number, but this number doesn't really mean you're any closer to winning this game. Like, instead, if you commit all of you guys to this tower, cap this tower, or get it to like some teams will get it to like a sliver of health, so that all you have to do is like right before an objective, like just throw a Junkrat Q, and then you cap it. If you guys do that, get this camp, get mid soak, get bot soak, now you're at like level 15 to like their level 14. You're gonna be a level lead. You're gonna get to 16 before the next objective when they have 15. You can do so much on the map. Like, you could probably get this bot for it. You can do so much. But instead you elect to get an imaginary number reduced. So think of this whole thing as a chessboard. You're moving pieces to get into their territory and closer to their king. But what you're doing is kind of like a lateral move of like, you're moving your bishop across the board and then kind of moving it back. Doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of, you're making plays. Reduces the number. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, yeah, let's use that analogy. It sounds kind of cool. You're moving the bishop up, taking a pawn, and then your next move, you're moving the bishop back to where it originally was. So yeah, it gets rid of a pawn, but it's not really securing you that much. I don't know. That's a shitty analogy. Whatever. How long does this take you? Okay. So 10:34. Oh, please don't tell me they come in and... It's been 20 seconds, almost 30 seconds. Oh no. Oh, you're all out of mana. Okay, nice cocoon. Oh no. let's so what does this team do in response? What they should do is they should have someone soak here, someone soak here. They should get 3 people on this, 3 people on this. They get bot, and then they just win the game. You guys had 20 seconds of uninterrupted. Could have just done everything else on the map but boss. So they should get this soak. They should prioritize this. And prioritize the bot lane. And the bot tower. Oof. Okay. So once they cap this, it should be Dahaka elsewhere, not the Lunar. Once they cap this, they just push it hard, make sure they cap it, and then what they do after that is they, I would put I think the Lunara clears better, and Hanzo has more safe poke. So what they do is, they're gonna soak this, push it up, cap this, then they leave Hanzo, Lucio, and Garrosh literally just sitting here, while Lunara caps this. Dahaka can go get this soak. They basically you just keep away. Make sure that you guys can't step up and D this. So they just sit here, clear the wave. Because now you guys have a hard time stepping up to this. Dahaka gets this for free. He digs in here. Then he pushes you guys off this. There's so much. So much macro that you can do once you have this. They should step up. Make sure you don't clear. So now you guys gotta back up because now your Garrosh is threatening you. See, okay, so here's what I was telling you, Nair. You don't always have to throw back. He's throwing forward because he just wants you to get off these minions. He wants you to back up. Super smart from him. So now it's basically partially because of that throw. If he threw back, then the minions would target him. So now he threw forward, so the minions push up. And now Hanzo just pokes. He just throws a Q. He has a Q. He could just Q. What a scrub. You still have Q, dog. Man. What a disappointment. Just kidding. But, okay, so yeah. So now, it's just, I guess they can cap this. They could also poke this. They could do so much with this. Nara's soaking. She's wasting her time top. Now she's running back down because she realized she was wasting her time top. He's throwing away because he just wants to create space. Hunt's coming in. Okay. So now it seems like you guys are in on the Lucio hunt. But Rex are not there. So once this hunt's coming in, Dookie, you just gotta rip the rip tire. Because it's gotta be... Ooh. So I think they realize... I don't know if this Garrosh or this team realizes what they're doing, but... So I think they realize this hunt's coming in, this Garrosh is gonna go up to this Junkrat and just... Because the only thing to secure this kill is basically the Junkrat rip tire. So if he goes up and taunts the Junkrat when he goes, or throws him when he goes to... So Hunt's coming in. He should walk up and stun. Which maybe he's doing. It's a good job. Follow this guy's lead. There. So yeah, it's gotta all be all in on this Lucio. So because of this Garrosh, you just cocoon this guy. If he's gonna do this, you just cocoon him. So, right once this hunt's going in, right now, cocoon. Cocoon this guy, Dookie just rip tires, you step up, you charge in, everything's open up completely if you cocoon this guy. Because then everyone gets their combos off, you win this fight. You're still really behind on the game, but you would probably win this fight. So let's see where the cocoon comes in. Okay, so you get the stun. Everything's just late. D-shield, but he's already got sound barrier, so you don't get it. Dahaka's just willy-nilly. Hanzo's missed every single arrow. And now, can you get the Lucio at this point? But it's so spread. Maybe you guys can win this. But with the Uther, it's just, these long-term fights are just not going to go well. Okay, so now they cap, they get bot. And now they just defend bot. So now they don't let you guys step up at all. So the Gyarados should be like right here with the Lucio. Hanzo should be here too. They should not be scared of this. I guess they can go around. So now it should just be, yeah, I like this 4 bot. Because now it's just, they hold this, they win the game. Lunara I still think should be split, but Hanzo's got wave clear if he went Q, which he did. So they wave clear, they step up, wave clear. Now it's like, if you guys try and step up to this Gyarados, he just throws the entire range. Yeah, they just sit here. And this, welcome to the new game of Towers of Doom, of just trying your hardest to cap this back, but once you lose it, it's so difficult, because now you can't do anything here. This is invigorating gameplay. There's a lot to talk about here. Really, there's not. The only thing you can do is, you know, you just, at this point, you just have to send the Rexstar down, YOLO fight. You're not going to cap this back, so you just gotta, I would just loop around here and look to fight here. Because they're not doing these yet, so, like, let's see. So, you have vision of everyone but the Lunara. Do you get vision of Lunara? Yeah. So they're, you know, they're not doing this, so don't bother poking. They're not getting any value of doing this. Okay. So you just want to get in position, preferably this way, because then at least you can see what's happening. So. Okay. So you gotta poke. Ooh. Okay. Unfortunate. So that's one of the things where if you just ignore this and just go around, the only thing you have to worry about is if they capped both and they're both going through. But yeah, so I think this game was just not prioritizing the mid or correct lane. You should prioritize the bot lane rather than the mid lane. You had more people in the mid lane all game than you had in the bot lane. Because this team misplayed it a whole bunch. Just not fighting when Rexstar's not there. Don't ever do this unless there's something to do, not to do, or like if there's literally nothing else on the map, then yeah, I guess you could do it. Or in the situation where like you're kind of even, like these aren't available. Like say you're at like you're at 3 shots, 4 shots until you lose the game, and then there's nothing to do. Like you could just push in, you could do a lot of stuff, but what teams can do is they take this boss so that that's not an option for the enemy team to win. So it's removing a macro play from the enemy team. That's a situation where I would consider like, yeah, if you guys killed 3 people, then yeah, rip the boss just to take it off the map so they don't have that option to beat you. But yeah, Okay, well played. I think it can definitely be improved. It's just, I think this one was, yeah, just understanding how to play the map a little better, and then using your ult combos more efficiently. Because I think you would have won if you just, you know, hunt the Lucio, get the triple stun on the Lucio, you rip tire the Lucio. Once you get him out of the fight, then it's just probably smooth sailing from there. Because then you can just like throw the Illidan on the Hanzo, give him the D shield, Hanzo's dead, and then they have no damage besides Lunara, but you know, you could probably kill her. So yeah. Alright guys.